is so crazy that you get both ends of that spectrum and the narrative trying to be correct in doing so and to make a statement for engagement. You're wrong, you've been wrong, and deal with the reality of the situation.
All of the people that analyze the draft mocked one in the first round, and even could he go to the Giants at number 3 or trade up back in that round. They got Dart, they didn't get Sanders, and the fall was on at that point.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
Cosmo was supposed to fight Ciaran Clark, but he had to pull off injury. You get the call. You get to go in there. What was it like for you when you got that call, jumping in there and be part of this bantamweight tournament on short notice?
Terrifying, man. 2 weeks notice against a stud, but I've been preparing for my whole life for it, and I couldn't say no to the opportunity, and saw what happened. I came in there and kind of shocked the world. Not kind of, I did.
Only on SportsGrid.
Malaysia Fawali, who you guys know I am a huge fan, has decided to switch allegiances and stay in league. And now she's going to go play for Kim Mulkey. Her, Flau'jae Johnson in the backcourt. It's going to be interesting to watch. You wonder sometimes with roster construction, maybe too much is not too good.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
You don't think that there's something to the fact that they blow all these leads against the Edmonton Oilers? It's like the Oilers can be down 4 goals and they come back like it's nothing.
We got a series now. I think this thing is going to reset, Scott. I think home ice advantage is going to hold true in this series. I think I told you that last week. I'm expecting this. I picked the Kings in 7 before the series started, and it's like plus 700.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on
welcome in. It's in-game live game day here on the grid. Scott and Dave, hour number 1 of our 2-hour extravaganza, taking you right up until 10 p.m. Eastern time. Nice little outfit there. I like that. Rocking a little Pittsburgh Pirates coaches fired system in play for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Oh, by the way, today. So we got the NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs. Good start for Toronto, which is up 2-0. Good start for the Cadavers, who are down 2-0 in tonight's games, and then a full slate of baseball, including the Pirates. What's going on, Dave? How are you tonight, bud?
Broke out the Pirate stuff just for you. Looked at the board tonight. Said, you know what? We've been hot. We had the Maple Leafs both nights they played, but they were at home, and we wore the Maple Leaf stuff. So if you expected to see the Maple Leaf stuff on me today, I said, you know what? They're on the road. They're probably not going to win. So what did I need to do? Coach's fired system. Scott Wetzel. All the systems at Opposite Picks. Go listen to the podcast. Join the podcast so you can listen to it every day for Scott Wetzel. All the LLs. You get all these system plays. We're up 1-0. It's a new era. They fired Shelton. I don't think the lineup's any better. It's not, but they're up. So let's get this. Let's get this one home. The P goes for Panthers as well. I thought the Panthers were the side in the hockey. I was going to ask you if you thought the Pacers had any chance. I do not. I like Cleveland tonight. I thought Cleveland was going to win game 2. I said absolutely they're going to win game 3. But that brings us up to speed, at least for the next whatever we got.
Yeah. I did think the Pacers had a shot. I still do. They're down big. 23-8 or 23-10. I wasn't sure who was playing for Cleveland, but then I said, even if Cleveland does have most of their guys back, I love the over. I thought we'd get some points. We're not quite getting the points I thought, at least not out of Indiana. Slow start. You got to figure Cleveland was going to come out flying, right? Although that didn't work with the Florida Panthers. But, they're 17-2, their last 19 at home. I know this is a moment of truth game, right, for Cleveland, just like it will be for the Celtics. But 17-2 is 17-2. You were getting, 5 when everything was said and done? It bumped up from 3.5 to 5.5. So I would have taken a flyer in Indiana. I think they can win tonight.
Well, for content's sake and for people who back Cleveland, you know who you are out there if you're watching it tonight. The Shrew and the different people that tweet at us at SportsBK Sig, at Opposite Picks, tag at SportsGrid as well. We'll see if we can get your tweet up, who you liked, who you thought. But I know this every single day at this time. We give these people these 5 on the line things. I missed the show yesterday. Hat tip to Joe Madden for stepping in, taking a shift for me. How'd things go yesterday with the 5 on the line?
Let's just say, let's move on to today. All right.
Oh, a lot of red X's. Whoa.
Yeah. We had a great Wednesday, 4-1, and really should have been 5-0. We gave it all back yesterday. The under Golden State looked great because the Warriors, but you play so badly you can't play like atrocious in the NBA. You just got to play bad. The Warriors played so bad that the game went over. Under Edmonton, Vegas, that was a loser. Toronto did win. Dodgers didn't come through, and then that was a double loser. All we needed was 4 runs out of the Dodgers to guarantee at least a split, and we didn't even get that. They lost 5-3. So, not good. 1-4. So, but we got no worries. That was yesterday. We'll win it all back. We're still 20-plus games over 500. So, actually, 30-plus games, 29 to be exact, over 500. So, let us go to the board. Time for our 5 best trends for the games that are still left on the board today. All right, this one's going to be, we got some dicey ones here. This is going to be the true test of trends tonight. We're going to start in baseball. Number 5 on our 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 countdown. The Cincinnati Reds taking on the Houston Astros. Astros have won 5 of 6. Cincinnati has lost 5 of 6. But that's not the trend we're going to go with. Instead, we're going to go with, as you see there, the Reds have beaten the Astros somehow or another 9 straight. Getting plus 150 tonight. So where are we going to go? Let's grab the Cincinnati Reds plus the 150, right? Beating a team 9 in a row. Go for 10 straight.
Why not? They better score more than 3 runs. We got to get their team total over 2. Yeah. So that's another way to look at that game. What else? What do we got?
All right. Number 4, baseball again. Minnesota Twinkies, 10-1 their last 11 home games tonight, and they've won 5 straight overall, so they're playing their best ball of the season by far, hosting San Francisco. 10-1, you got to keep on playing the Twins at home, right? What's the trend? Let's take Minnesota, minus the 116.
As bad as
Pitcher
Minnesota
stinks, but that's okay.
I was just going to say, as bad as Minnesota's been, this one, I mean, you're supposed to play the. That's fine. We'll do it. Just go. What else?
Yep. Number 3 on our countdown. Baseball again. Another live dog tonight. Baltimore taking on the Angels in L.A. Somehow or another, Baltimore's a road favorite. I know the Angels suck. I get that. But Baltimore 1-10 their last 11 road games. So give me the Angels, right, at home. Plus 124 on FanDuel against Baltimore.
Really like this spot for the Angels. Makes perfect sense. Take the plus money. Boy, this is a nice board. This is shaping up to be some plus money board tonight on the 5 on the line. What else you got?
Yep. Switch to hockey. Late game. Dallas taking on Winnipeg. What trend? Gave it to you the other day, and it came through somehow or another, despite getting 5 goals in the second period. But Dallas and Winnipeg, 9 straight unders now, their last 9 meetings. It's 5.5 again. If you couldn't get over 5.5 when you get 5 goals in 1 period, man, just keep playing it. Under 5.5, Dallas and Winnipeg.
One of the best wins of all time. If you had the under last game, nothing after 1, 3-2 after 2. Look, done, toast. Somehow avoid the empty netter, avoid it all, and finish 3-2. Had it all the way. Speaking of having it all the way, what's number 1?
All right, number 1, the coup de grace, creme de la creme, best trend on the board. It's really not that difficult to figure out, folks. San Diego taking on Colorado. Padres playing great baseball, 6-2, their last 8, just a couple games behind the Dodgers in the NL West. Taking on the Rockies, you see it there, 3-20, their last 23 games. They've lost 6 in a row. They've lost 8 of their last 9. We could spend an hour on bad trends with Colorado. The bottom line is the number 1 trend, boys. Where are we going to go? Give me San Diego minus the 160. Might be up to 170 now, but San Diego tonight, no matter what it is, it's still a halfway decent price. It should be really 2-1. It's not. So give me San Diego at Colorado, Dave.
Out west, this thing's 185. It's 185. Yes. So I was thinking of coming on in the Padres stuff tonight. I thought I would be accused of just picking too big of a favorite, so I did not. That one's winning. What else is winning? Look at this board. This is a 4-1 shot tonight.
You would think, right? You're going to win San Diego. You're going to win, I think, Minnesota. I think you're going to win Angels. If we could get a split out of the 5.5 Dallas, Winnipeg, and Cincinnati, I would take a 4-1. That would still give us positive overall for the week. We would be 13 and 12. So
okay,
that's the goal.
That's good.
That's the realistic goal.
All right.
So not bad. We're still doing well. We did hit our black cloud last night. We got that coming up. We got SGP coming up in a little bit as well. We'll hit the board. We return in-game live game day.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this once? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip, try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
All right, welcome back in Game Live, Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Dave, hour number one, just getting underway. So we got our 5 trends in. Again, in case you missed it, Cincinnati 9-0 against the Astros. So we're playing Cincinnati plus 150. Twins 10-1 at home. We're taking Minnesota, basically pick them against San Fran. Orioles 1-10 their last 11 road games. Let's go with the Angels at home getting odds. Stars and Jets, 9 straight meetings between the two teams, all under. So you got to go under 5.5 5.5. Dallas, Winnipeg. And then our number one trend, everything in Colorado just stinks. So I'll just paraphrase it. San Diego, minus the 160, 170 against the Rockies, our 5 best trends for the night. Our poll question, Dave, yesterday, to recap, which coach we had was the most meaningless? This was still my kind of anti-Joe Mazzulla rant. It carried over from the day before. So, and we put NFL, NBA, and I put Joe Mazzulla on the question. NHL, MLB, and no surprise, NBA won 48% of the vote as being the most meaningless manager. So, not surprised.
That makes sense. That's the one I would have voted for. But this poll question tonight, first of all, who's that sexy dude in the picture there? I mean, look, who is that? Look at that guy in the picture.
Look at that spread. How about
wow. That is great. In-game live game day, Scott Wetzel, in-game live poll question of the night here on SportsGrid and SportsGrid TV. You're walking down the street and see 4 pairs of tickets on the ground. Which 2 are you picking up? Your favorite teams are not involved in the game. This is a fantastic question. Your options are 2 tickets to the NBA Finals, 2 tickets to the NHL Stanley Cup, 2 tickets to the World Series, and 2 tickets to the WNBA Finals? Wetzel,
I wanted to be,
what are you doing with that?
Wanted to be politically correct. You know, I just wanted to be politically correct. Let's just see if we can get any votes. So far, none, but we just put it out there 2 minutes ago. But so far, WNBA is yet to get a vote, ladies.
So you purposely left off the Super Bowl.
I didn't want to dominate it. This merge from which is more popular, NBA or NHL. So I don't want to do that, but that's a good question. Then I expanded it to World Series since that's going on, baseball's going on. And I said, then let's just throw the WNBA, the LLs in there. Why not? Let's see if we could have some, people vote for the WNBA. What do we got?
3-1 Toronto Maple Leafs. They go and win Game 3 on the road. Is this possible? Is this actually going to get done?
I said this on the podcast. This is I don't know if this happens to you or not, Dave. I had Florida going to the finals, right? I had them going against Colorado, so it really should just negate the whole bet. But just in my mind, I got Florida going to the finals. I still do. I still think they're the better team. But when I saw that line today, they were minus 225, 235. I'm like, are you crazy? Yep. Right? You're down 2-0. I get it. You have to win. But you know what? You had to win Game 2. You tried to win Game 1, and you didn't. And I said, that they're a live dog. But if I think Florida's going to go to the finals, then we got to bet Florida tonight. So I told the guys, take Florida in regulation, minus 150. That's more manageable. But had I not had that bet, we hit with both dogs last night, I would have taken Toronto. I would have said, you want to give me plus 170 or so, 180? Here, I'll take it. I'll take my chances because the whole world's on Florida tonight. And I hate being on the side of the whole world, right?
Yeah.
And look at it.
It's one of those situations where I can tell you this as an odds maker. I know what you're going to bet. You're going to bet Florida. You have to. You can't come in and say Toronto's going to win the first 3 games of the series. The last one here on the road. No. So it's extra. All right. But look at that series price right there. That series price would indicate that Toronto is winning the series. Minus 210, up 2-0 with home ice. If they win this series, that price doubles. Maybe 2.5. We go right to 450. It's a wrap.
You're right.
If Toronto wins. It's a wrap.
FanDuel has it up. FanDuel has it up. The FanDuel's got it at minus 410 right now. It's amazing how they'll put these lines still up in the middle of the games. It really is really amazing. Yeah. So you're right. They basically doubled it. It's minus 410 right now in Toronto. Because I would have put it in at minus 210 right now. But they can still lose this game. Yeah. But I would have done that, but not 410. But do you ever do that? You ever put a series bet in or think, okay, I said this team was going to get there, so I can't bet against, in essence, myself. But sometimes you just got to realize, all right, you know what? That was the wrong bet. Not again.
I'll bet against myself in a heartbeat. I'll be like, nah, that was wrong. It was a wrong read. Like I thought the Kings were going to be, the team in the first round against Edmonton? No. Took me about halfway through game 4. I'm like, no, Edmonton. Then I bet Edmonton game 5, Edmonton. So I wouldn't switch. I really thought Florida was going to win this game. This is surprising. I mean, there's 16 minutes left in the second period, so it's not over yet. And the in-game number is tremendous right now if you want to take Florida. What is it? Let me hit refresh on my screen here.
Locked. So
yeah, it just locked up. Mine went down too. Yeah, it's locked.
Penalty, baby. Maybe a penalty.
Probably a penalty. Yeah. Pacers came all the way back. It's 34-32. The second quarter just started. A minute in.
There you go. I think they win tonight.
Wow.
I think they win. I really do.
The Buccos got 3 runs in the bottom of the 7th, or top of the 7th now. They lead 3-0. Come on, Bucks. They got to hold on to that lead. They got to get the bullpen. Man.
Can they turn it around? Can they make a little run here?
No.
Okay.
Not with that line. No.
So it wasn't the manager's fault, right?
Has nothing to do with the manager. No. They're going to a gunfight with a knife. You got no bullets. They got no hitting. No.
We talked about it on the podcast. You know how many guys, Dave, they have hitting over 225? Not 300, not 275, not 250, over 225.
Total of 4.
I think it's 5. One guy had like 5 at-bats. Yeah. Wow.
Your college performance does not relate to the National Football League. It never does.
They played side by side with each other, and he wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers. That's an issue. That's a major issue.
It wasn't that he wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers.
Ever got to Texas.
It wasn't that he wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers. It was Quinn Ewers' program, which Steve Sarkisian made very clear the entirety of the time that Arch Manning was in Austin. So for you to argue that because Ewers is a 7th-round pick, Arch Manning is not that good and not deserving of being first overall is asinine. It is wrong. It is incorrect.
I told you he's going to be number 1 overall. My whole thing was I'm buying
you're doing your thing now where you double down on a take
no, I'm not doing
incorrect.
The best quarterback prospect to ever hit college football can't play.
He's
over
not
a 7th-round
There were 2
who didn't even play good.
quarterback recruits in the history of the sport.
Quinn Ewers couldn't even play at Ohio State. He couldn't even play at Ohio State.
Quinn Ewers. Go look it up.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day on the Grid. We'll tell you Florida scored to make it 3-2, so we'll update all the lines on that, baskets and the baseball as well. But first up, segment number 3, hour number 1, SGP time. All right, we'll use the second basketball game tonight. Game 3, Oklahoma City at Denver. Series tied at 1. I won't fool around with the point spread. Just give me the winner. That would be OKC for me tonight. I think they do get the win. I know Denver's in a perfect bounce-back spot, how badly they played, right? But I still think OKC's the better team. So grab the Thunder minus 235. I'll go over 232.5. We're not getting any defense in this series. I think all these games are going to go over. Ooh, Florida scored again. How about that? 3-3. Give me Shea Gilchrist Alexander, 30-plus points, best player on OKC, obviously. His number is actually 32.5. We'll lower it just a tad at minus 210. We'll go the Joker, a triple-double. And I tell you, it is a joke, the line that they're giving you. Plus 110 on a triple-double. I mean, that is just nuts.
Wow.
I mean, just criminal. So, and then we'll go Russell Westbrook, 1 steal. Minus 245. I think he's going to be all over the court for Denver. He's bound to get at least 1 steal. He gets over, 1.5 steals a game. So add it all up, and we turned a minus 235 and an over 232.5 parlay into plus 8-1.
Wow. That's are you worried about anything in particular? I'm worried about the total for you. That's the one that jumps out to me, because I think there's it's been an adjustment. This is a little bit higher. I think the $2, props, I think those both win. Jokic, triple-double? I mean, you got OKC on a money line. You got Jokic to get a triple-double. Can both exist?
Yeah. Look, he's going to get 10 points, obviously. He's going to get 10 rebounds.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like possibly. That's why it's 8-1 for 5 limit. So
that sounded like an answer that you would give the wife when she asked you a question that you didn't really want to say yes to. Yeah, that sounded like what that sounded like. You didn't sell me on that at all.
Everything's got to be a gamble. So we're gambling on OKC winning, and then we're gambling on the joke. Like Westbrook's going to get a steal. Gilchrist Alexander gets 30 points in his sleep. I am confident in the over. So it would be OKC winning and then the Joker triple-double. But he's got to get 10 points. He's got to get 10 rebounds. It's the 10 assists. That's the thing. His number's 10.5. So I'll take my chances. You know why I did that? Because I could have done a double-double, but the double-double was like minus 9-1. It was just ridiculous.
No, yeah.
Right?
Don't bet that. No.
I'm assuming Denver at home, the secondary players generally play better at home, right? Those guys, the Chris Brauns of the world, they all struggle on the road. So because they're going to play better, that means when he throws them the ball, they hit a jumper, he's going to get an assist. So I'm actually more comfortable with triple-double at home than I am him on the road.
Wait, did you get a copy of the game plan or something? How do you know this? This is inside information.
These head coaches. I'm smart. Did you see the poll from yesterday? Again, did you see that poll about NBA head coaches? They're dunks, all of them.
Well,
so
I mean, yeah. Which sport would you want to coach? What sport would you want to coach of those 4 sports? If you were going to the championship and you got to coach, sit on the bench, or be behind the bench, whatever it is, which one of those sports would you want to be the coach?
Well, I am a world-class 5th, 6th grade girls basketball head coach. So
I know.
I'd probably say NBA.
That's why I asked.
Right.
That's the one you would say?
Yeah. Because that's the one I think you can make the most difference. Like, NFL head coaches are pretty smart. I'll give them credit. Managers, baseball are pretty smart, but you're limited on how many moves you can make. Hockey, it's the same. All right, we're going to decide what lines are out there, but that's pretty simple to me. It's the NBA where you get so little coaching now that when you actually have a coach, I think that would make the biggest difference.
Wow. Okay.
What would you do? What would you do? Baseball?
Oh, either baseball, depending on who was in it, or Stanley Cup. A hockey coach got a lot going on. You got to always be aware of the puck coming over and getting you. You got to manage the lines right. You got to manage the lines right. Power play, shorthanded. There's a lot going on that thing, especially when you got a second change.
Nick Cammony, ZoneCoverage.com, coming up next.
and your college performance does not relate to the National Football League. It never
They
does.
played side by side
DRS.
with each other, and he wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers. That's an issue. That's a major issue.
It wasn't that it wasn't as good as Quinn
they've ever
Ewers.
got to Texas.
It wasn't that it wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers. It was Quinn Ewers' program, which Steve Sarkisian
Why
made
would it be
very
Quinn
clear
Ewers'
the entirety of the time that Arch Manning was in Austin. So for you to argue that because Ewers is a 7th-round pick,
Quinn
Arch
Ewers'
Manning is
team.
not that good and not deserving of being first overall is asinine. It is wrong.
I
It
just
is
told
incorrect.
you he's going to be number 1 overall. My whole thing was I'm
you're
buying
doing
him
your
because
thing now
I
where you
expect him to
double
have
down
decent
on a
season.
take
No, I'm
that
not
is
doing that.
incorrect
The
when I
best
show it's
quarterback
incorrect.
prospect to ever hit college football can't play
He's
over
not,
a 7th-round
There were
pick
two
who didn't even
perfectly
play
rated
good.
quarterback
Stop
recruits
it.
in the history
Stop
of the
it.
sport.
Quinn
Vince
Ewers couldn't
Young
even play at
and
Ohio
Quinn
State.
Ewers.
He couldn't even play at
Vince
Ohio
Young and
State.
Quinn Ewers. Go look it up.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in game live, game day on the grid. Scott and Dave, hour number 1 until 10 p.m. Eastern time on this fabulous non-football Friday. But we got hockey, we got NBA, we got some baseball stuff, plenty to get to. Hopefully make a couple shekels with the boys in Vegas. We got one NBA playoff game underway, another one starting obviously a little bit later on. So with that, let us bring in our good buddy Nick Hamady, thezonecoverage.com. Follow him at the real Tiny Nick. Tiny Nick is his little logo there. What's going on? The Tiny. I won't ask where Tiny Nick came from. So let's just go right to the NBA. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Cleveland. Let's start with Cleveland and Cleveland and Indiana. I know you got a lot of plays with Denver and OKC, Nick. But what were your thoughts heading into Cleveland, Indiana?
Yeah, Cleveland, Indiana, this series is wild. I thought today that Cleveland would bounce back. I'm an Iowa State guy, so Tyrese Halliburton, I can't root against him. I think that Indiana is very live to win this series, and I'm shocked to see it.
Yeah, you're not the only one. There's been a lot of people that have been shocked to see it. We'll see what happens tonight. Cleveland leads right now 42-38.
Yeah,
8 minutes
I was just
to go
about to say, it looks like another game that Indiana has a chance to steal at home here, and if they do that with the injuries that Cleveland has right now, I have full confidence in Indiana to finish off this series.
What about the second game tonight? I mean, OKC destroyed them last game. We throw that one out. You know, Denver got the first one. It was 1-1 going back. Side total, any prop, anything you like, particularly in this one?
Yeah, originally I was all over the over of 231.5 here, but I saw like 80% of the money was coming in on the over. It scared me a little bit. I will say that the first half over for the Thunder is also intriguing at 58.5. But Denver is 27th in the NBA for first half points allowed at home this year. We've seen the first two matchups go over this number. 247 or 247.6 points for the last 5 matchups between these two teams. I'm actually going to take another angle with a player prop here, and I'm looking at the Joker to go over 51.5 points, rebounds, and assists. In the game that he was able to finish where they weren't blown out completely, he hit 70 in that game. And if they're going to have any chance here, in a home game to keep this one close, Joker's going to have another huge game, whether it be through points, rebounds, or assists. And Aaron Gordon's coming in a little bit low, in my opinion, at 23.5 points plus rebounds. I think Gordon's a bad matchup for the Thunder, and I expect him to go over that number at 23.5 as long as the Thunder don't smoke him early in the game like they did in Game 2.
Yeah. How do you deal? We were talking about the Joker, Nick. You know, the numbers are ridiculous. I mean, a triple double, it was plus 110 earlier today. It is plus 115. But I mean,
Yeah.
a triple double is plus 115 for him. I mean, so how do you know, what made you go points, rebounds, assists, which I like too? I like those props versus a triple double or maybe more points. Figured would you just, grab all three and hope that it gets to 52?
Yeah, just the chance that he puts up some crazy number in one statistic and not another. I mean, he can go for 20 rebounds in any game just randomly. So I wanted to be able to take advantage of that. And also just the fact that Jokic is a guy that he could put up 9 assists or 9 rebounds in any game and no one would be surprised. He's going to push a triple-double in every single game. And actually at the plus odds, I do like it as well. But I still like the 51.5 points, rebounds, and assists just a little bit more.
Word on the street is you might be rooting for the Minnesota Timberwolves in the Western Conference. Scott, in the last segment before you joined us, said, and I kind of agreed, that the Western Conference representative in the NBA Finals will come from the game tonight, OKC in Denver, not Minnesota and or Golden State. What do you think about that, Nick, Tiny Nick, Big Nick, whatever you want to be? The floor is yours here.
I'm gonna counter that. I think the Wolves have a lot of value at plus 350 right now to win the West. So realistically, I think the Wolves are going to blow through the Warriors now with Steph Curry being out. I think they have an easy matchup there. If Denver somehow comes out of this series, we've seen the Wolves absolutely destroy them the last 5 or 6 games, including the end of they ended last season for Denver. I don't think Denver's any stronger than they were last year. I love Russell Westbrook as an opponent, being in the game at the end of games. I'm not afraid of them. The Thunder obviously scare me. Now, the Thunder are a team that, if they get back on the rails, win tonight pretty easily. They're a team that I do expect to make a big push here. I did have my dad and my uncle were at their first playoff game since the Washington Bullets in Minnesota last night. It sounds like Minnesota got their mojo back a little bit.
Wow. Yeah.
Kids, Google that.
Sounds like
you're gonna have to Google Washington Bullets.
Nice.
I mean, you can't even name a team the Bullets anymore. That's a while ago. But go ahead, continue, Nick. That's awesome.
So yeah, they actually they made it to the Tuesday game. I will say, and that was a total dud. Steph Curry doesn't even play in the game after the first quarter. The Wolves still find a way to lose that game. It was gross. Everything went wrong. Anthony Edwards put a scare in for the Wolves yesterday, but the Wolves are simply too good right now to discount. I mean, they're 21-6 since Randall returned from injury. They're one of the deepest teams in the NBA from top to bottom. They got 5 or 6 guys that can beat you off the bench. I'm not even exaggerating. We've seen Terrence Shannon Jr. coming into games now. It's at the point now where as long as they don't shoot the worst 3-point percentage of all time in the NBA uncharacteristically, they shouldn't have any problem with anybody as long as they play their game. Now, back to tonight's game, the Thunder are a team that can dictate their own future as well. They're not a team I want to talk smack about, so we'll talk about that when we get there.
Okay. Let me ask you about the Teacup series then with Golden State. If you think it's going to be so one-sided, I can't lay -3 and change, 370. How about Minnesota laying a game and a half, which means obviously they got to win in 6 or less. Only -142. That's not bad.
I don't hate that, Scott, and I'll do you one better here. I think it's pretty simple just to roll with the Wolves -5.5 tomorrow. It's a discounted game. I don't think it'd be a shock to me if the Warriors kept this game close against a Wolves team that has no excuse not to absolutely blow them out without Steph Curry in the game. Jimmy Butler is not playoff Jimmy anymore. I don't care what anybody says. I saw him in Minnesota. He's way too passive right now, and I'm not afraid of Jimmy if he does start shooting the ball with the defenders that the Wolves have on the perimeter. I'm excited for tomorrow's game. I think the Wolves should blow them out. They should take control of the series, and then we can look forward to whoever's going to win tonight.
Nick, the other game in the NBA that's tomorrow is the New York Knicks hosting the Boston Celtics. They're up 2 games to none. There ain't too many people that even thought that was possible. But is there any chance that they win that game tomorrow night? Like, this can't be a 3-0 end result, right? The Knicks, the world's not ready for that, Nick. The world is not ready for that.
am more surprised than anybody in the world at how this has gone so far, but I'm definitely not rolling with the Celtics the way that they've been playing right now. That doesn't mean I'm rolling with the Knicks. I said it last week. Karl Anthony Towns is a Wolves fan. I've seen him a million times play small in the biggest moments. But whatever is happening right now, I think the Celtics are beating themselves. That's truly how I feel about it. When you have 6-minute power outages multiple times in a series, I know the defense is great for the New York Knicks. I understand Tom Thibodeau, hard-nosed basketball, but the Celtics, something's off. They're not playing their ball, and as soon as they start playing again, they're gonna take control of the series. Will it happen? We'll find out tomorrow. Because if you go down 3-0 on the road to the Knicks, I don't care how good you are as the Boston Celtics, you're not coming back. One angle I will take on this series is, or on this game, is Derek White to go over 3.5 3-pointers tomorrow night. He's owned New York all season long, shooting from three. Actually at 54.3%. He's averaging over 4 threes at 4.8 made threes per game. And I just don't see the Celtics continuing to slump the way that they've been slumping right now. They're going to get their volume threes up, and if they're going to get out of this slump, Derek White's probably going to be the guy to get him out of it from three.
Yeah. Sad to say, when you got a guy making $50 million in Jaylen Brown and another guy making $50 million in Jason Tatum, and then you got the genius head coach who's not smart enough to call a play. But all right, let's have Derek White be the answer, and he probably will.
I agree.
Great job, Nick. Check him out at the Real Tiny Nick on Twitter, ZoneCoverage.com as well.
Your college performance does not relate to the National Football League. It never does.
They played side by side with each other, and he wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers. That's an issue. That's a major issue.
It wasn't that it wasn't as good as Quinn
ever
Ewers.
got to Texas.
It wasn't that it wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers. It was Quinn Ewers' program, which Steve Sarkisian made very clear the entirety of the time that Arch Manning was in Austin. So for you to argue that because Ewers is a 7th-round pick, Arch Manning is not that good and not deserving of being first overall is asinine. It is wrong. It is incorrect.
He's going to be number 1 overall. My whole thing was I'm buying
you're doing your thing now where you double down on a take that is incorrect.
The best quarterback prospect to ever hit college football can't play.
He's
over
not
a 7th-round
There were
pick
two
who didn't even
perfectly
play
rated
good.
quarterback recruits in the history of the sport.
Quinn Ewers couldn't even play at Ohio State. He couldn't even play at Ohio State.
Quinn Ewers. Go look it up.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in-game live game day here on the grid. Again, thanks to Tiny Nick Camedy. Check him out, zonecoverage.com and at the Real Tiny Nick on Twitter. Great job, as always. I like his work. It was a lot of fun to talk to him. But I will say, Dave, he's falling into the trap that I think a lot of people are going to fall into. That Golden State is shot. That Golden State is done.
They're done.
No, they're not. I'll give you 3 reasons why. 2 or 3, whatever.
Where's my glasses? Hold on, I'm putting the glasses on for this. Go. Yeah.
All right. 1, They won not one but 2 games against theoretically better record anyway, Houston Rockets team, or let's just say a good team, Houston Rockets, without Jimmy Butler in the first round. Remember, Butler left early in game 3. They won.
Right.
Didn't play game 4, and they won. And that was at Golden State. So if they can win 2 games, not just 1, 2 games without Jimmy Butler, they can win 1 without Steph Curry. Oh, wait a minute. They did win 1 without Steph Curry. Steph Curry got hurt early in game 2.
Yeah.
He didn't, he got hurt early second quarter. They won that game without him for all intents and purposes. So if that, or game 1. So if that's the case, they already won a game without Steph against Minnesota. They played so bad. Steve Kerr is either a genius or a dope, and I'm really siding with dope. But you know what? I think he's so bad that he was actually smart, because we were talking last night on In-Game Live with Joe Madden, who said it for you. He played 14 guys last night, Dave. He played 13
emptied the bench
in the first. But he didn't, he emptied his bench in the first quarter. He played 13 guys in the first 18 minutes of the game. He gave up. He waved the white flag.
Yep.
So I think he said, you know what? I'm going to lose. We're going to lose. We're going to get our ass kicked. You know what? Kick our asses as bad as you want and get overconfident into games 3 and 4. We'll go back home and we'll do what we did, in game 1. Win without Steph. I think
sounds
they win
like
tomorrow.
sounds like some genius plan that a guy who's, a world-class basketball official and a former, all-time girls basketball coach on the island, you might come up with.
Yes.
I don't know. That's a little bit like Machiavellian. They might have been thinking, listen, they won the first game, right? So they went, got their split. We're good. Our guys hurt. Let everybody play, get some reps. That's fine. Wow. Vinny, you got to hit it.
What do we got?
You got to hit it. Wow. Oh, boy. It was 3-1 Toronto. Then it was 3-2. Then it was 3-3. Now it's 4-3 Florida. And the roof just blew off the building. All right? You remember back in the day when they used to throw the rats, but they're not throwing the rats.
Right.
This is they should, because this, wow. I don't want to say it. I don't even want to say it. It's a first seed of doubt where you go, oh boy, where's the Leafs? How are they going to lose this? Well, they're going to lose tonight. I really thought the Panthers were the right side. Now I know they're the right side. That was a bad goal. Boy, oh boy, that was a bad goal. Yeah, not a good goal.
Oh, wow. That's
nah. They better tie this thing up before this period ends. I feel like that was one that's going to lead to 2, that one. So
I'm glad I bailed. I bet over or under 8.5 when it was 3-3. I said this is going way over, and I'm glad I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I only got half my money back, but half is better than none because this is going to go over 8.5. It's 4-3. We still got 4.5 minutes in the second period.
Yeah, we're getting 10, right? This is the series. This is right. This is the series. I think we're going to get 10 tonight. We heard Nick talking about all the different basketball series, and you mentioned the Minnesota one. How are you after a little bit of time to reflect, Mr. Boston Celtic guy? I mean, they're betting the Celtics again. Like they can't lose. You feel good about this one? They're betting them again.
I know. They're favored in the series still. They're down 2-0.
I don't.
That's
unbelievable.
In the series.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
Right? Yeah. What were the Knicks after they won game? Remember, you and I we looked right away. Knicks were minus 140, I think, in change right after they won game 2, and now it's flipped where the Celtics are minus 118 on FanDuel and the Knicks are even money. That doesn't make any sense.
Because the thought process is simple. If the Celtics win game 3, there's people that will say no matter what happens, how they win it, doesn't matter, buzzer beater, blowout, good game, bad game, blah, 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 blah. If the Celtics win game 3, they're going to win the series. Right. One thing is not related to the other. I think they have to win game 3 to win the series, because if they don't, they're down 3-0 and then have to win 4 in a row. Nah. I don't think that's happening. But they win game 3, they can win 3 more in a row and win the series in 6. That's the thinking.
Yeah.
That's why they're still favored.
And I think, a strange sort of way, you tell me, you've been in the book, what Cleveland does tonight and is doing, they're leading 61-42 now. Pacers made a run, they cut it to 2, 3, 4, whatever, and now it's back up to 19. I think people would say, all right, if Cleveland can win in Indiana to get back in a series, then the Celtics can certainly win in New York, right? And maybe more people bet Boston tomorrow.
100% they'll do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That, no question that will happen. And whether that's right or wrong thinking, one is not related to the other. You guys watching at home know that. But that's the way bettors think. That's the way bettors bet. Cleveland, again, it's the side tonight, but we got to see it. I mean, the Celtics blew 2 20-point leads. The Cavs blew a big lead in game 2. Yeah. This is not over. This is not over. I don't even know if it's over the total, that pace, but no, it's not over. 61-45 with a minute and a half to go before halftime.
Yeah.
They're going to win
this game. They get this down. They blew 2 big leads. I mean, I think Indiana has it right where they want them. I think Cleveland, do or die, used up all their energy again.
Oh, God.
I think the Pacers plus 14.5 to make a little bit of a run. Just a little bit of a run. We'll check out the 2 late games when we get back. Black Cloud coming up.
Your college performance does not relate to the National Football League. It never does.
They played side by side with each other, and he wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers. That's an issue. That's a major issue.
It wasn't that it wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers.
Ever got to Texas.
It wasn't that it wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers. It was Quinn Ewers' program, which Steve Sarkisian made very clear the entirety of the time that Arch Manning was in Austin. So for you to argue that because Ewers is a 7th-round pick, Arch Manning is not that good and not deserving of being first overall is asinine. It is wrong. It is incorrect.
He's going to be number 1 overall. My whole thing was I'm buying
you're doing your thing now where you double down on a take
that is incorrect. The best quarterback prospect to ever hit college football can't play
He's
over
not
a 7th-round pick.
There were 2
who didn't even play good
quarterback recruits in the history of the sport.
Quinn Ewers couldn't even play at Ohio State. He couldn't even play at Ohio State.
Quinn Ewers. Go look it up.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
And welcome back in Game Live, Game Day here on the grid. Finishing up hour number 1, a little playoff hockey, still 4-3, final minute and change of the second period. Got a ton of goals already in this one. We got NBA, we got baseball, and time now, though, for our best play, Black Cloud play of the day. All right. Just to recap, yesterday we hit with Vegas's Noah Hannafin getting 2 shots on goal. He had 4, so we easily won that. So we're 3-1 for the week. We're now 31-16 on the season, but since we started doing this about a month and a half ago. So our goal, realistically, was 4-1. So we got a shot. We're gonna go back to the well. Let's don't make this harder than it has to be. We gave you a winner on this earlier in the week. Right back to it. Goals. We got Winnipeg and Dallas. How about saves? Jake Ottinger, again, over. Now, they bumped it up 1. It was 24.5 on Wednesday. It's now 25.5, but the numbers are still the same. Over 25.5 saves. First off, he's on Dallas. Winnipeg is trailing in the series 1-0, so you know Winnipeg's going to come out flying. He's played 11 now full games against the Winnipeg Jets. 8 of the 11 he's had to have 25 or more saves, including 3-1 this year, including in game 1 where he had, 30? I think it was 29 or 30. 25 or more saves in 6 of the 7 games against your series number 1 opponent, Colorado. Again, Dallas on the road, like we told you on Wednesday. He averages over 29 saves on the road this season, only 26.5 at home. So they don't play nearly as good defensively for whatever reason on the road as they do at home. Then you throw in the Winnipeg factor. Let's go over. Best play. I don't think he gets under 25.5. So that extra one always kind of stinks, but over 25.5 saves, Jake Odger.
Like it. Fully expect Winnipeg to win the first period, whether that's 1-0 or dare I say 2-0. They're going to press. So I think this will be good. I think we'll get there. There was a maybe goal, maybe not in the hockey game. One of the guys was pushed. Florida guys was pushed into the net, hit the post pretty hard. Have you ever gone into a net, Wetzel, on the ice in your past skating career, hockey career, anything like that?
Right. No. Almost dunking the basketball going into the net, but not hockey net. No.
Almost dunking a basketball?
Well, I had some hops when I was younger. I could get to about 4 inches from the rim, maybe 5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
well, I could touch the rim. I just couldn't throw a basketball over it.
You could touch the rim. Okay.
I could touch the rim. It was a couple good years of jumping rope and getting the legs, trying to get that vertical up. So yeah, we could touch the rim, but we couldn't dunk. There's no way you could. No, would you two-hand it if you dunked a basketball? Would you two-hand it or one-handed?
No, you got to go one hand. 2 hands. Okay. 2 hands, you really got to get off the floor. 1 hand, no, you could do, but 2 hands is really getting. I saw a video. Someone sent out a video of some high school kid. I swear to God, the kid's face was even with the rim.
What?
That's how. I'm telling you, it reminded me of me back in my heyday. I swear to God. This guy, he wasn't playing in the game. He was just doing, some drills and stuff, right? And he jumped so high, his head was looking at the rim. It was unbelievable. So
it's fascinating when you see that in person. When you see a guy jump and get up that high. I mean, even in an NBA game, I mean, it's unbelievable. Makes you wish you could fly. There's just one of those situations where you're like, man, I just want to be able to do that one time. Speaking of one time, this poll is taking a life of its own right now. These people are voting. 2 tickets to the NBA Finals, 2 tickets to the Stanley Cup Finals, 2 tickets to the World Series, and 2 tickets to the WNBA Finals has finally received a vote.
Nice. It got at least
one. It did get a vote. WNBA Finals did get a vote. Way out. Huge lead. The vote I voted for, Stanley Cup Finals. And I only voted for the hockey over the baseball because it's climate controlled. So I know I'm going to be in a decent weather, right? I don't want to go World Series. What if it's in Colorado? Well, not this year. Maybe not ever. I don't want to be cold.
Get your vote in. We'll update you later today.
your college performance does not relate to the National Football League. It never
They
does.
played side by side
DRS.
with each other, and he wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers. That's an issue. That's a major issue.
It wasn't
the
that
best
it wasn't as
quarterback
good as
prospect
Quinn
they've ever
Ewers.
got to Texas.
It wasn't that it wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers. It was Quinn Ewers' program, which Steve Sarkisian
Why
made
would it be
very
Quinn
clear
Ewers' program?
the entirety of the time that
No.
Arch Manning was in Austin. So for you to argue that because Ewers is a 7th-round pick,
Quinn
Arch
Ewers'
Manning is
team.
not that good and not deserving of being first overall is asinine. It is wrong.
I
It
just
is
told
incorrect.
you he's going to be number 1 overall. My whole thing was I'm
you're
buying
doing
him
your
because
thing now
I
where you
expect him to
double
have a
down on a
decent
take
season. No, I'm
that
not
is
doing
incorrect
that. The
when I
best
show it's
quarterback
incorrect.
prospect to ever hit college football can't play
He's
over
not,
a 7th-round
There were
pick
two
who didn't even
perfectly
play
rated
good.
quarterback
Stop
recruits
it.
in the history
Stop
of the
it.
sport.
Quinn
Vince
Ewers couldn't
Young
even play at
and
Ohio
Quinn
State.
Ewers.
He couldn't even play at
Vince
Ohio
Young
State.
and Quinn Ewers. Go look it up.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live, Game Day on the Grid. Scott and Dave, hour number 2 of our 2-hour extravaganza. We got Drew Johnson from at Ranting Johnson, the podcast host, joining us in a little bit. We'll do some NBA, some hockey with him. We got Adam Kaufman a little bit later on, SportsGrid Radio TV host, joining us in about 45 minutes. We'll get some winners from him as well. In the meantime, Dave and I for the next 1 hour until 10 p.m. Eastern time. Got some hockey plays here for you, Dave. Just to kind of recap the one game that's going on. They're in between the second and third periods. Did end up 4-3 with Florida beating Toronto, or leading, I should say leading Toronto.
Leading.
Yeah, leading. I won't put the kiss of death on that. You can grab Toronto. I tell you what, Toronto plus 390. If you grab Florida before, plus odds, down a goal in a crazy game, plus 390 is not the worst number to be holding on to. So I take a little flyer on Toronto, thinking they're not out of this thing by any stretch. But do you have Dallas and Winnipeg? Let me throw some props at you. See if any of these intrigue you. All right?
Let's go.
We'll go from low to high. Winnipeg Jets to score 1 goal or more in each period, plus 2-1.
No, I don't like that one. I think they get shut out one of the periods. You like that one? Yeah, I think they get shut out.
No, I like Dallas tonight. How about Dallas to score 1 goal in each period, plus 270? I'd take a flyer on that one.
I mean, if you like Dallas in a
them,
game, right?
Yeah.
I just think that they'll protect the lead if they get a lead. In that third period, they may not score. They may be content to not score like they did the other night. So that would be a scary one. I'm not in favor of that one either.
All right, Mikko Rantanen. What a postseason this dude is having, right?
Whatever the prop is, yes. Yeah, whatever it is.
You might like 2 out of the 3 I'll give you.
Whoa!
First one, Rantanen. Oh, you went out of the
what?
Out of
what is
there.
that?
Okay,
That's a hat trick.
Hat trick, 95-1.
What?
He's had 2 hat tricks in his last 2 games.
Well, we have to bet this.
I would take that
At 95-1. Hell yeah!
Yeah.
Pick up some flowers for Mother's Day if this comes in. Absolutely.
All right. How about Rantanen and Kyle Connor to combine for 3 goals at plus 950?
Oh wow, you're shooting your shot there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like that one a lot. Nah, that's okay.
No?
I mean, like
2 out
Rantanen's
of
getting
1?
2-1 maybe. So I mean, I
Right.
think you're going to be live. Maybe both of them score. That'd be terrible if both of them scored. You didn't get 3. You only got 2.
I know.
Oh, that'd be a tough loss. That'd be terrible.
Yeah. All right, and here's the kicker. 250-1
Oh my goodness! What?
Rantanen to score 3 goals in the second period. Third period, I would like, okay, with the empty
hell's
netter, you only really need 2 real ones. But they're wise. They made it second period. And they didn't offer third period or even first period for whatever reason. Give me less odds and give me the third period. Like at 150 to 1.
I put my dark glasses on for this in case anybody recognizes me. I gotta be in hiding right now for you talking about these things. These are the ones you put in the book. You just know that like a couple people are gonna bet. They have no chance of winning. You think any one of those have a chance of winning? 250 to 1, 150 to 1? Come on. What do you
I think the hat trick. I think the hat trick.
The hat trick's got a shot. The hat trick's that would be something. What a story. That would be amazing right there. Oh, I'll get the big bouquet of flowers for Mother's Day if that one hits.
When he scores that first goal. You know, when you're watching the game, you're sitting back, all right. You know, then he scores the first one. You're like, ooh, okay,
yeah.
Here we go. Then he scores that second one. Then it's like, all right, kids, stay away. Daddy's got some business here. So,
listen, not the kid needs a new pair of shoes. We're getting a whole house new pairs of shoes.
Yeah,
right. If this one comes in, everybody
we're going hocus across the board.
The hocus for the house. Everybody gets a hocus. You get to pick your own colors and everything. That's a great idea. That might be a segment for the summer. Hocus for the house.
Unfortunately, this is Friday. Otherwise, I would have had a poll question for tomorrow. I need new sneakers, so I'm debating. My Hokas are still in very good condition, but do I spend $100 or so for Nikes for screw around sneakers, or do I spend $150, $200 on new Hokas and then use the old Hokas as my screwing around sneakers? Tough question. I'm really debating this.
I pulled a Wetzel. I think you get.
Depends how the Celtics do.
Yeah, there's a lot of things pending right now. There's a lot.
Yeah.
a lot of things pending on the next couple of weeks for you on the Celtics winning. They better win tomorrow. You ain't getting no new shoes if the Celtics don't win tomorrow.
Yeah. All right, one more. This is a pretty good one. I got an internal debate on this one. Connor Hellebuck, right? We did Ottinger. We both like Ottinger saves, I think. Connor Hellebuck saves 22.5 for Winnipeg tonight. That's not a big number, but I will tell you, 8 playoff games, 7 have gone under for Hellebuck.
I like under.
Yeah.
I like under.
I couldn't pull the trigger. I considered that for the Black Cloud. I really did.
What's the price?
23 saves is nothing, though. I mean, 23.
What
I know.
Is the price?
Pick them.
That's it. Oh, I think that's a play. That's the play. What are you worried about? The number? 7 of 8. You like to bet things that happen half the time.
I know. But 23? You got to really shut a team down. You could shut St. Louis down. I don't know if you're shutting Dallas down. That's the problem. But you look at the saves this postseason, little game log action. We got, he only had 21, 23 shots to give it 2 goals. So plus the empty netter, or 24 shots. 21, he had 26 in game 7, 18, 16, 13, 19, 21, 14.
I didn't hear too many numbers over 23.5. I mean, if you go back and rewind that part of the show and say those numbers again, there weren't too many that went over that number.
I know.
Just saying.
I just can't. I just can't.
What?
I'm an
Why?
overplayer when it comes to saves. It's too few. It's too few. So, and I will say they're supposed to get the Scheifele back. So that should help them defensively as well.
Okay.
That's what they were saying.
The Scott Wetzel system play of the night, the Pittsburgh Pirates, held on and won 3-2 at home against the Braves. So the new era started. There you go. Tigers 2-1 against Texas. Another Texas Ranger game goes under the total. Struble gets the win. The Mets are leading 6-1. We're financially and contractually obligated to mention the Mets there, top of the seventh. And well, they got no games coming up right now. Oh, the Padres are up 1-0.
Yeah, over
Just
the
like
Rocks.
that. Is there an easier bet in baseball right now to bet against the Rockies?
No, there isn't. It's amazing. You know, we were going to bet on the Dodgers like every game. Right now, it should be just bet against Colorado every game. They're not even winning at home. You know, all the previous years, they were atrocious on the road, but they were at least winning at home. Not even home anymore. So, all right, more coming up in Game Live.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip? Try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Dave, hour number 2, getting a blowout in the NBA, which is not, anything strange. But I am surprised tonight, Dave. 73-51, Cleveland by 22. They played 4 minutes into the second half, which I thought maybe in the end after halftime would come out on a little bit of a run. It's 20 and a half now. I still think there's a run in them. I do. But I tell you what, it's a great performance by the Cadavers. 221 and a half, because Indiana is not holding up their end of the bargain. So that is a blowout. And you got still Florida 4-3 over Toronto as they're in between the second and third period. Baseball,
This
we
was
got
due to
some
happen.
games.
That was Cleveland thing was due to happen. I'm good with it. I hope they win by 30. All
right. By the way, Rockies did not score bottom of the second with our number 1 trend play, and now they're top of the third, and San Diego's got runners on first and second, nobody out. Nice little 4 or 5 spot here to blow this thing open would be
You see what the
We were
line
touching
is?
on.
It's minus 400, and
Wow.
it's only 1-0 because they got the runners on. So you can't assume a double play when you keep scoring baseball. You can't assume that those runs are going to score for San Diego, but the book is kind of assuming that the runs, at least one of the runs, is going to score minus 400, 1-0, second inning. Come on.
Wow. They're on pace. I figured it out this afternoon. I'll update this, once a week. They're on pace for 26 wins. I got it on my sheet here. 26
That's
and
ridiculous.
134.
No way. That's not possible. Is that that's not possible?
Somewhere along the line. But we said it at the beginning of this month. I mean, it's a brutal schedule in May. There's just no no bad teams. I mean, we posted what? We said 5 wins, 5.5 wins, maybe. They have
6
one.
was it? Yep. Yeah, 6 was it. 6 was the
They
number
got
that we
one.
put up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
we're on the 9th already. We're averaging 1 a week. That's 4. So
Man.
that's why that minus 160, 170 is 2-0.
I had another game here that I wanted to ask you about. Like, it's a fun game to talk about, but this game will absolutely do no handle. Like, more people would be betting watching Vinny play slots if you could than the White Sox hosting the Marlins. It's 2-2 in the top of the 7th. What the hell do you do with a game like that? I used to love these games. Oh, see, now we got Matty D, our producer, is actually made a bet on the Marlins.
Wow.
He's on the
All
Marlins.
right.
They were favored on the road.
On the road. Team that's 4-10 on the road. Team that's 8 games under 500 was favored on the road. What did I come up with? Let me see in my Miami White Sox little rundown. Did I have anything of value? Miami is 2-9 their last 11. How about this one? I'll give you one. You want to bet the game? 9-0 overrun for Miami on the road. 9 straight overs. White Sox are not only 6 and that's not bad. White Sox are 6-14 their last 20. They're 2-17 their last 19 against National League teams. So, Miami, if you just do trends, Miami in the over. Miami's the number one over team in all of baseball because they're pitching so
not
bad.
because of their hitting, right? I was going to say because they
Right.
give them up, not because they hit them. Yeah. That game I just found like to be interesting because we're in the sports gambling business, and that's a game that only gamblers are interested in. There's no, listen, the fans of the teams, you guys aren't even, unless you bet on it like our guy Matt did, the fans of the White Sox aren't at the game tonight. I didn't look at the attendance. I bet under whatever the number is, under 5,000. So that was a game that,
what do you think? Friday night in Chicago, right? In beautiful weather. How many people are showing up for that game?
Under 5,000.
Yeah.
I would bet that would be my number. I don't know. I haven't looked at their attendance figures all season, so I don't know. I got to ask you too. The Red Sox at the Royals. He won't go play first base. He told everybody about it, Devers and stuff. So it's a good thing they're probably on the road. But time to bet the Royals 0-0, end of 7.
Yeah, let me double check and see. Just make sure that's not a no-hitter. No, it's not. I thought that was a strange line. Royals are 15-2 their last 17 games. They've been on fire. Red Sox, they're mediocre, 500, and that game was pick'em today. I thought that was a little weird. No score. 10-1 their last 11 are the Royals at home as well. I don't know why that number was that low. So I would go Kansas City. Now, I'm guessing the starting pitchers are probably out of the game since the 7th inning.
I would think so.
Actually, 8th inning.
Yeah.
So
Top
now
of
it's a
the 8th,
bullpen game. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would take. I still take Kansas City. I think the Royals will find a way to get the win.
Yep. I would too. Let's see. The book here got it minus 120. So not a bad price at all. Bet them while they're in the field. So because it's going to flip if they get out of this, it'll be minus 140, minus 150.
Do you play first base? Could you play first base if I put you on the bag right now?
Absolutely. Oh, yes.
It's not that hard.
I played every position on the field. I did not like catcher, though. I did the catcher position. I was a hard no. I really didn't like it. You had to love it to like it. I wasn't a fan of it. You could guarantee play first base. After meeting you in person a couple weeks ago, doing the show. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
I went from shortstop. I didn't have the arm for short to second base and then first base because I kept on missing the grounders. So first base was easy though. I had the footwork down pat. You know, I'm surprised I'm not a dancer, but I had the footwork down pat. It was so easy. The umpires would always say, "Keep your foot on the bag." I said, "Don't worry, I got it on the bag. As soon as I'm catching the ball, I'm pulling it off the bag. Don't worry about it." So I just couldn't. Don't throw the ball in the dirt, though. Don't throw the ball in the dirt. I'm not catching it.
Oh, what are you talking about? They called me Hoover. That was my nickname.
Really?
The vacuum cleaner.
Wow,
Oh, scoop.
Vacuum cleaner.
Scoop. Bang.
Nice.
Your college performance does not relate to the National Football League. It never
They
does.
played side by side with each other, and he wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers. That's an issue. That's a major issue.
It wasn't that he wasn't as good as Quinn
Ewers.
Ewers.
Got to Texas.
It wasn't that he wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers. It was Quinn Ewers' program, which Steve Sarkisian
Why
made
would it
very
be Quinn
clear
Ewers'
the entirety of the time that Arch Manning was in Austin. So for you to argue that because Ewers is a seventh-round pick, Arch Manning is not that good and not deserving of being first overall is asinine. It is wrong.
I
It is
just told
incorrect.
you he's going to be number one overall. My whole thing was I'm
you're
buying
doing
him
your
because
thing now
I
where you
expect him to
double
have a
down on a
decent
tape
season. No, I'm
that
not
is
doing that.
incorrect
The
when I
best
show it's
quarterback
incorrect.
prospect to ever hit college football can't play
He's
over
not,
a seventh-round
there were
pick
two
who didn't even
perfectly
play
rated
good.
quarterback
Stop
recruits
it.
in the
Stop
history of the
it.
sport.
Quinn
Vince
Ewers couldn't
Young
even play at
and
Ohio
Quinn
State.
Ewers.
He couldn't even play at
Vince
Ohio
Young
State.
and Quinn Ewers. Go look it up.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live, Game Day on the Grid. Scott and Dave, hour number 2. Quick update on our poll question. Walking down the street, you see 2, 3, 4 pairs of tickets. I always love asking guests these. I really do. So which pair do you pick up? NBA Finals, Stanley Cup Finals, World Series, WNBA. Your favorite team is not involved, so don't do it based on, okay, I want to see my favorite team. No favorite teams involved. So Stanley Cup Finals, a big winner so far, 64%. We got the World Series 23, NBA Finals 7.5 or so, and then WNBA Finals actually has 5.1% of the vote. So check out Sports BK Consig, opposite picks, SportsGrid, and the votes in the polls should be there. So put your vote in, and we'll update that one more time before we're through. So we're getting a couple WNBA voters.
We have Kaufman on at the second and last segment of the show tonight. Yep. I guarantee he bets or he picks the NBA Finals. 100%. He picks the
Yeah.
NBA Finals. Yeah, he's the basketball guy. Be shocked if he picked the Stanley Cup one. You never said which one you would pick, sir. Which one would you pick?
I've been to a World Series. I've been to a couple World Series with the Staggies. So I would probably go NBA is lousy. I've been to basketball games, not finals, but there's really no good seats in the house. It's the worst by far of sitting at home watching on TV and going to the game. It's really not good. So I would probably go Stanley Cup.
Good choice. I've been to the Stanley Cup. I've been to the World Series. I've not been to an NBA Finals. I actually should have gone to a WNBA Finals. Did not go. Kid canceled on me at the last second because they were here, the Las Vegas Aces. So we didn't go. But I've been to an Aces game, just not at a WNBA Finals. A lot of fun.
Right.
But my number one pick would be the Stanley Cup Finals. Again, because what if, it was in Minnesota? Like, we got to go to Minnesota in October. I got to bring all the gear. I got to bring the beanie, the gloves. Sitting outside watching baseball is the absolute worst. Unless the Pirates someday ever get back to the World Series, I will go to Pittsburgh and watch the Pirates play in the World Series in October. But I don't want to go watch like a cold team play.
Yeah. And baseball, the Cup is also the one where I think you would have the best seat. In that NBA, like you said, you get those seats upstairs. It's not a good view. It really isn't. So WNBA, same boat. World Series, you get out, you're in the outfield. I don't mind the upper deck. I really don't. But, if you're on the third base side, if you're too low, you can't see. The NHL rink is the best suited. Like the old Mausoleum, the Nassau Coliseum. Man, I tell you what, there wasn't a bad seat in the house. There really was. Same thing with the Meadowlands when I used to go cover the Devils. Not a bad seat in the house. Really. So I think your chance of getting a halfway decent seat are better with hockey as well. So anyway, get your vote in. And get there.
So if you had to pick somewhere in the baseball stadium to sit, you get one spot. Where are you sitting? Where are you sitting? Behind first, behind third, behind home, out in the outfield? Where are you sitting?
I've sat everywhere. Behind home plate is overrated. Very much overrated.
Oh, wow.
I would probably go, believe it or not, I'd probably go third base side, semi upper deck.
Wow.
Depending on where the sun was. If the sun's behind me, then I'm third base side.
You don't have to worry about the cost of the ticket. You can sit anywhere you want. You want to sit up in the upper deck?
Not upper deck, second level.
Oh,
because you get a good view of everything. You're close enough. You're not upper deck, which is not bad seats, but the mezzanine. Yeah, exactly.
Mezzanine.
Not the grandstand.
Yeah. Right.
So, because when you're down low, if you're on the first base side or third base, you can't see. You can't see the right field if you're on the third base side. You can't see the left field if you're on the third base side. I mean, because the angles of the way the stadiums are built nowadays. So, because the stands go out so far, the middle section is the best for me. Good chance for foul ball, too.
I like by the on-deck circle on the first base side. You sit down close, that close, so you can see everything, hear everything. You watch them take swings before they go up. I love that spot. Or, of course, like where you said, second level, third level, right behind home plate for me. When you see some of these views at some of these stadiums, it's fantastic.
Yeah. Some prop plays for the NBA game. We come back to Game Live.
your college performance does not relate to the National Football League. It never
They
does.
played side by side
DRS.
with each other, and he wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers. That's an issue. That's a major issue.
It wasn't
the
that
best
it wasn't as
quarterback
good as
prospect
Quinn
they've ever
Ewers.
got to Texas.
It wasn't that it wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers. It was Quinn Ewers' program, which Steve Sarkisian
Why
made
would it be
very
Quinn
clear
Ewers' program?
the entirety of the time that
No.
Arch Manning was in Austin. So for you to argue that because Ewers is a 7th-round pick,
Quinn
Arch
Ewers'
Manning is
team.
not that good and not deserving of being first overall is
Yes.
asinine. It is wrong.
I
It
just
is
told you
incorrect.
he's going to be number 1 overall. My whole thing was I'm
you're
buying
doing
him
your
because
thing now
I
where you
expect him to
double
have
down on a
decent
take
season. No, I'm
that
not
is
doing that.
incorrect
The
when I
best
show it's
quarterback
incorrect.
prospect to ever hit college football can't play
He's
over a
not, though.
7th-round
There were
pick
two
who didn't even
perfectly
play
rated
good.
quarterback
Stop
recruits
it.
in the
Stop
history of
it.
the sport.
Quinn
Vince
Ewers couldn't
Young
even play at
and
Ohio
Quinn
State.
Ewers.
He couldn't even play at
Vince
Ohio
Young
State.
and Quinn Ewers. Go look it up.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Dave, hour number 2. Got a little baseball play here. I will tell you first up, the Padres 5-0 now over Colorado. Wow. That's as easy can be. That's just like, wow. All right, how about this one? Kansas City, Boston, Dave, no score still, bottom 8. So we got an inning and a half still before we get the extra innings. They're giving us an over-under of 1.5.
Over.
We get the extra innings.
Over.
Chances are real good we're going to get a couple of runs, right?
That they both score, yes.
Yeah.
I think that's an overplay. Yes.
Yeah.
I'll ask you because we talked about it before the break, and I hope our esteemed producer jumped in here and did this. The Miami Marlins now trail the Chicago White Sox 4-2 in the bottom of the 7th. Oh, boy. Well, that means he didn't bet it. I mean, we try to tell you while it's going on. It just, it's one of those things. It just, you got to push the button sometimes. Do you have NBA props? You said you wanted to discuss right now before we get to, let's get to this. Come on, what do you got?
Yeah. All right, so we got Denver, obviously OKC second game. I'll just update the lines for you just to see if anything changed, just to kind of set the scene, if you will. By the way, Pacers still down 22. That's why we're kind of ignoring that. It's nothing crazy.
That's a wrap.
Happening there. We'll keep you posted if something, if they make a move. But OKC 5.5-point favorites, over under 232. So rare flat line on FanDuel. So similar to like the NHL, not quite as goofy. But how about Jamal Murray or the Joker to score 40 points at plus 550?
Wow. I mean, if you like Denver in the game, you have to take a shot on that one, no?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be a high-scoring game. How about I like these. These are kind of goofy. But Chet Holmgren to get a double-double and Oklahoma City win plus 240. Now, is it a monster payoff? No, but you're turning a minus 245 favorite into a plus 240 underdog.
240, right.
He's got to get 10 rebounds, right? Can he get 10 points, Chet Holmgren?
I was just going to ask you, what does he average? Do you know what he averages?
I usually look this stuff up, but he's a little goofy in that commercial. But he's right around there. Well,
what's to do with it?
Shave before you make a TV commercial, will you? I mean,
you're
so tall and goofy looking. 15 and 8 he averages. 15 and 8.
Okay.
He had a double-double game number 2. The whole world did, but still.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
It's not bad. It's not bad. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying I don't know if it's enough. I feel like we need to be getting more.
All right. Denver is a plus money line plus 2-1. You can bump that up to plus 340 if you go Joker 30 points and Denver wins.
Ooh. I mean, that's kind of correlated, no? That's
right.
that one gives that one piqued my interest. Okay. What about this other one? What is this? Jokic assists and Denver win?
Yeah, you want Joker to get 10 assists and Denver wins plus 370. He averages around, what is it, 9.5, I think,
I
in
was
the
going to say
postseason.
9 assists, no? Yeah.
Yeah. So you need one more. Again, you're getting just take Denver to win. It's 2-1. So you're bumping. That's how you got to view these things. So for an extra 170 points, I need the Joker to get 10 assists. Because obviously they're going to cash if they win. So
Right.
he averages, for the regular season, he averaged 10.2.
You're
So
not
far,
selling
these
me
two
like
games.
I just wanted to do it. I'm not sure. I have hesitation. What's that last one?
6-6 this postseason. All right,
What is
last
this
one
last
is what do we got left? Oh, I like this one. Russell Westbrook to get a double-double and Denver win.
Wow.
25-1.
Oh, man.
He's had one double-double this postseason.
Yeah. So this isn't going to happen, but this is a fun flyer bet. At 25-1. What?
It could. He averages. He's had a very good postseason. Well, I mean, again, you're turning. If you think Denver's going to win and you don't think 2-1 is enough, then where do you go to add to that?
Right.
Last game he had 5-19, no good. Game before that, no good. But he had 10 and 14 against the Clippers. He had 8 and 15 against the Clippers. So he had one, almost had another one. If you think Denver, and it's going to be a high-scoring game, he's at home. You could get 10 assists, but I'm more inclined to think you get 10 rebounds.
Yeah.
At 25-1, he doesn't come out of games either. Win, lose, or draw.
This is true. Okay. Well, I mean, it's not the worst play in the world. Let's just say. I just don't know if totally sold.
Little flyer.
Yeah.
Little flyer.
All right, that's fine.
Not a
little flyers.
Not a main play. Yeah.
Real quick, the Guardians lead the Phillies 6-0, bottom of the 8th. The White Sox piled on another one, 5-2 in the bottom of the 7th, with runners all over the place.
Over 6.5 hits.
What about the Astros lead 3-0 over the Reds? Twins Giants 3-1, top of the 7th. Time to bet the Giants?
They must have hit a home run because there's nobody on and they were losing 3-0. So let's check and see who's pitching for Minnesota. If it's got to be into the bullpen now. It's the 7th inning. It'd be a minor miracle if it wasn't. But just check that out to make sure. Because if it's a starting pitcher, then I stay away. Chris Paddock. How do you figure this dude? He's still in there. This guy was brutal this year. Brutal.
Yep.
He was 0-whatever with an ERA over 5. He's thrown 2-hit baseball in 6 2/3 innings, 5 strikeouts.
Some of these games are, you can't explain that. How do you explain Baltimore and the Angels coming up here right now? They're getting ready to throw the first pitch there. Or Toronto, Seattle. Any play in either one of those for the people?
Yeah. Even LA and Arizona. I'll give you that. Baltimore, we got them in the trend, right? 1-10 their last 11 road games. 4-12 their last 16 overall. They're in last place. You talk about dead man walking. That might be the Orioles skipper. He might be next to go. LA stinks. We know that. But Baltimore has no business being a favorite. So I would take a flyer on the Angels. Dodgers lose last night 5-3. Still 9-3 their last 12. They're only 9-9 on the road. Yep. Last 18 road games. Is that for the season or last 18? Either way, it's not good. For a team that's supposed to be they're 10-10 on the road this year. I mean, 15-3 at home. That's a little disappointing. So, but I would take a flyer
It's nothing
on
to be
them.
concerned about. Although I think I think the Diamondbacks win tonight. I got
Do you?
Diamondbacks. Yeah.
They're gonna take the first 2 of the series, huh?
Yeah.
I hope not. I got a nice little San Diego
Whoa!
Dodgers parlay.
Whoa!
Uh-oh.
Vinny!
Lowhorn?
Vinny!
The Florida guy put in his own freaking net.
4.
Oh,
It's tied
my
up.
goodness.
Oh,
My goodness.
no.
What are you
The goalie
doing,
looked at him
Florida?
like, what did you do? You like
What
Wetzel
did
would
you
call you a dope. Yeah.
Dope.
He didn't know.
Man.
It just hit the shin guard and went in. So it's tied 4-4. Maple Leafs, Panthers, Wetzel, Sharapan, Kaufman. What
Coming
a
up.
show!
Your college performance does not relate to the National Football League. It never
They
does.
played side
DRS,
by side
DRS.
with each other, and he wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers. That's an issue. That's a major issue.
It wasn't
the
that
best
it wasn't as
quarterback
good as
prospect
Quinn
they've ever
Ewers.
got to Texas.
It wasn't that it wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers. It was Quinn Ewers' program, which Steve Sarkisian
Why
made
would it be
very
Quinn
clear
Ewers' program?
the entirety of the time that
No.
Arch Manning was in Austin. So for you to argue that because Ewers is a 7th-round pick,
Quinn
Arch
Ewers'
Manning is
team.
not that good and not deserving of being first overall is asinine. It is wrong.
I
It
just
is
told you
incorrect.
he's going to be number 1 overall. My whole thing was I'm
you're
buying
doing
him
your
because
thing now
I
where you
expect him to
double
have
down on a
decent
take
season. No, I'm
that
not
is
doing that.
incorrect
The
when I
best
show it's
quarterback
incorrect.
prospect to ever hit college football can't play
He's
over a
not, though.
7th-round
There were
pick
two
who didn't even
perfectly
play
rated
good.
quarterback
Stop
recruits
it.
in the history
Stop
of
it.
the sport.
Quinn
Vince
Ewers couldn't
Young
even play at
and
Ohio
Quinn
State.
Ewers.
He couldn't even play at
Vince
Ohio
Young
State.
and Quinn Ewers. Go look it up.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live, Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Dave, hour number 2. Welcome again, Sports Grid Radio host. We kind of do a little role reversal. I was on Game Time Decisions with him. He was gracious enough to join us on In Game Live tonight. Good buddy Adam Kaufman. What's going on, Adam? How are you? Long time no see.
The common denominator actually is that Dave hosted both shows because he's on with you here.
Right.
He came on with me for the tail end of my show. He had the nerve to bring up the Celtics, and I hung up. I said, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. It's your show now.
That's funny.
I'm sorry. I did do that, but I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to.
Hey, you do whatever you need to do. I am a guest. I will respect the process of the hosts. Whatever you want.
All right. OKC, Denver. Wetzel's all over the board with props, and we talked about the way the game is going to go with the total. Earlier with a couple guests. 9-1 the last 10 games for the OKC Thunder. The Nuggets are 4-13 against the spread in the last 17 home games. check your phone, check where they're playing the game. It's in Denver. I mean, come on. This can't be this easy, Kaufman, is it?
I don't think it's easy. I'm not comfortable with the points really on either side, quite frankly. You know, I could see Denver stealing this game, in which case, obviously, Denver with the points makes all the sense in the world. I could see OKC winning it by 15 points. You know, so it's both sides of that kind of scare me. I just think, and we talked about this earlier on Game Time Decisions, I think that we've seen two very different games. We saw the Nuggets sort of luck themselves into a game one win, and that's not totally fair because they were incredibly resilient. They were awesome, battled, and, you know, it just so happened that the, you know, Daignault for the Thunder kind of coached them out of it at the end with all the intentional fouling, and it backfired in their faces, though it's, you know, a popular NBA strategy, obviously. And then game two, thing was over at halftime, and Jokic fouls out in the third quarter, and it's an absolute massacre in favor of OKC. I think this series, as it plays out, is going to be much more like game one than it was game two. I don't think you're going to get a whole lot of blowouts like that. That being said, I don't know what to expect tonight. I really don't. I'd like to believe that the Nuggets find a way to answer, and that doesn't mean win. It just means be competitive, give us a game, give us something entertaining. And if that's the mindset, then, you know, I have no choice but to go to the best player in the world, and certainly the best player on the Nuggets and an MVP candidate, Nikola Jokic, and just play his overs. You know, I don't know if it's going to be the assists or the rebounds. You know, it doesn't have to be the points with all the different guys that they have in terms of the depth. So I would just go collectively look toward the over PRA, points, rebounds, assists combo. It's a big number, obviously, but I think there's going to be a little bit of a response out of Jokic, who, again, was out prematurely and didn't have a great game, clearly, in game two. Or if you didn't want to, you know, chase after a 50.5 or wherever you find it at right now and even pay a little juice on it, you know, James Young, coach, he mentioned this earlier. It's you can still get plus money, plus 110, plus 120, wherever you can find it on a Jokic triple-double. You know, just figure he's going to round out the box score. And he's had multiple triple-doubles against OKC this year. He's had multiple triple-doubles here in the postseason in general. I think it's a smart play.
He came, I don't know if you guys saw it, but he came dressed as the Joker to the game tonight. These NBA players are like they're so, I mean, this is an NBA playoff game. I know, it's just like, I don't know if I'm like impressed that they have the personality, or I'm like disappointed like they're not taking things seriously. So give me your pecking order, Adam. They're all about the same underdogs. Denver getting 6 tonight. Knicks getting 5.5 tomorrow. Golden State getting 5 tomorrow. Give me your pecking order of those teams actually winning.
I would go right in that order. I would say Nuggets first, Knicks second, Warriors third. I don't think, just to go in reverse order, I don't think the Warriors win another game this postseason. Not without Steph. And the Timberwolves, they're not great, but they're certainly considerably better than a Golden State team that clearly Jimmy Butler is not going to be that bona fide number one scorer. We've seen it here just the first 2 games without Steph, or game and a half. He's not taken over at any point, even in the game they won. It was the Buddy Hield show. So I don't think the Warriors win another game. I really don't. We already know Steph's not going to return before, you know, a game 6 at the earliest. I don't think it gets to game 6. I think Minnesota wins this thing in 5. So that's not even of consideration for me. This game, again, tonight, I think the Nuggets are live to win any of these games. You know, I don't know that they're going to win the series. I think they absolutely give them a series, though. I think we're looking at 6 or 7 games in this one. Again, this is a team that has, you know, won a championship only a couple years back. They're battle tested. They're deep. They're healthy. They're home. I think they should be taken very seriously. They would be my number one. And then, of course, the team in the middle, the Knicks. You know, look, I've been wrong about this series in just about every way a person could be wrong. But I don't see how Boston does not. I mean, this is truly, I know it's not a literal must win. You know, Boston will have another game even if it loses. But this is as backs against the wall as you could possibly be, season on the line kind of situation. In NBA history, going back to when all of this stuff was, you know, at least as far as Basketball Reference goes back, which is only the early 80s. I recognize, obviously, the history of the game goes back much further than that. But in best of 7 game series, when teams lose the first 2 games at home and then obviously have to go on the road, they're 4-24. That's it, 4-24. And the only teams that have come all the way back, to win those series win games 3 and 4. So even splitting in New York is not enough for Boston, historically speaking. So the Celtics need this game. They need game 4 as well, but it starts with game 3. So I'll put, how can you not respect what the Knicks have done in the first 2 games, which is why they're second ahead of the Warriors. But I think the Nuggets would be the clear number 1.
We ran a poll question earlier and made a bet on what you would answer. You walking down the street and you find 2 tickets to either the NBA Finals, the Stanley Cup Finals, the World Series, or the WNBA Finals. Which one of those are you picking and going to? Which one?
All right. I first respect that, you didn't pick like the Super Bowl, like you picked all series. So, you got a whole bunch of games to evaluate. Man, I'm complicating this. Is my favorite team playing in it? Am I doing it that way?
It's just team is not playing.
Okay, so this is just at random. NHL, Stanley Cup. Hockey live this time of year. It's got to be.
Wow.
Your college performance does not relate to the National Football League. It never
They
does.
played side by side with each other, and he wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers. That's an issue. That's a major issue.
It wasn't that he wasn't as good as Quinn
they've
Ewers.
ever got to Texas.
It wasn't that he wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers. It was Quinn Ewers' program, which Steve Sarkisian
Why
made
would it
very
be Quinn
clear
Ewers'
the entirety of the time that Arch Manning was in Austin. So for you to argue that because Ewers is a 7th-round pick, Arch Manning is not that good and not deserving of being first overall is asinine. It is wrong.
I
It is
just told
incorrect.
you he's going to be number 1 overall. My whole thing was I'm
you're
buying
doing
him
your
because
thing now
I
where you
expect him to
double
have a
down on a
decent
take
season. No, I'm
that
not
is
doing that.
incorrect
The
when I
best
show it's
quarterback
incorrect.
prospect to ever hit college football can't play
He's
over
not,
a 7th-round
there were
pick
two
who didn't even
perfectly
play
rated
good.
quarterback
Stop
recruits
it.
in the
Stop
history of
it.
the sport.
Quinn
Vince
Ewers couldn't
Young
even play at
and
Ohio
Quinn
State.
Ewers.
He couldn't even play at
Vince
Ohio
Young
State.
and Quinn Ewers. Go look it up.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Here's something I don't think I've ever seen. Is that possible? Yeah. Wow. They called a penalty day with 1:47 left in a 4-4 game. That's like the Game 7 penalty, but at least that was like 3.5 minutes left. I mean, it was a penalty, but so what? It's
I
hockey.
don't think it was a penalty. That was, Pacioretty tripped him on that. It looked like he took a dive.
Yeah.
I'd rather he called the trip and the dive. Both of you go off. Don't do that again.
No, you can't do that. How can it be a dive if you tripped them?
Because
Pick
you
one. You can't have both.
accentuated it. It was a trip, but you didn't have to dive off your skates like you were diving into a swimming pool. That wasn't that was terrible. I hope this game goes to overtime. I don't want to see this decided on that. I really, really don't. So we're down to a minute to go. Oh boy.
I'd pull the goalie if I was Florida. I'd pull the goalie.
Stop it. This is why
for the
you're sitting
gusto.
with me and not
Down
behind
2
an
games to
NHL
nothing.
bench.
What do you
This
got
is
to
why
lose?
you're right here.
They're never
talking
going to get
about?
the puck when you're shading 6-on-4, right? There's no way. And if they
Yes, they
did, you got
could.
two guys that could like tackle the guy.
No, wrong.
My Florida
You're wrong.
regulation bet is still alive, although it's fading fast. Then it left.
Oh, you need
Son
Florida
of a-
regulation? Yeah, I don't think
Yeah. I went on
Oh.
it cheap. I didn't want to lay the 220. So, would you rather have a bet that you know is going to lose or risk more by having it go to overtime, but you could win? Good question.
so. Always a bet that you could win.
They got
What?
nobody in front of the crease. Look at it. They're not going to score if you don't have a guy in front of the net. There you go. Now you got a guy. Ugh, what? Unbelievable.
Orioles are leading
right
the
through his
Angels 1-0,
legs.
by the way.
Rocky's making a big comeback, 5-1.
Oh, look
moving
out.
Down.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Yankees A's tonight. Out in Sacramento. Late night sweat. Got anything?
Don't forget. Well, think about this. Where are they playing? Stanky's minor league ballpark. So, no, wait a minute. That's Tampa Bay. Never mind.
Tampa.
Yeah, that's Tampa Bay. My bad. So either way, got to go Yanks. Laying $140 though on the road. Don't really like that.
How about $160 now? That's current number.
Do you like Winnipeg or Dallas?
I like the game under. If I have to pick a side right now, pregame, I'm picking the Dallas Stars. What about you?
Well, I see Winnipeg just scored 2 minutes into the game.
Oh,
but I like
wow.
Dallas.
Huge goal for them.
Yeah, that is huge. That takes a
that's
lot
a different
of
game now.
Yeah, a lot of pressure off Ottinger, right? I mean, I thought Dallas would come out flying, put a goal on him. Do what Winnipeg did. First 3 minutes, score a goal, and I have Ottinger really shaking, or Hellebuck rather, shaking in his boots.
Okay.
I'd take Dallas plus 210 right now, though.
You would?
I like that. Yeah, I still think they come back and win. I'm not I don't love the game, but I thought Dallas was a live dog tonight. So.
Oh, I agree. I think Dallas live dog too. I just don't know about the total.
It's up to
but
6.5
watch Winnipeg now operate. Yeah, watch them operate like they have a lead with 10 minutes to go.
Yeah,
I mean they're going to lock down, right? This is an under. If you've got a 6.5, you have to play it right now.
Yeah. See, that's not good. I need Dallas to be leading. This way, Winnipeg shoots pucks on Ottinger.
Yeah,
Ooh,
that one may be in trouble.
Hold on. We're 3.5 minutes in. He's got 4 saves already.
That's good pace. That's a good pace for you. There you go. Yeah.
Phenomenal. What are you kidding me? Phenomenal pace. Now let's just hope they don't call off the Dogs since they got a 1-0 lead. I wouldn't think so, but we know how that goes. We got to get heading into the third. We need 26 saves. We got to get 20 in the first 2 periods. If Winnipeg has the lead.
And then need 9 in the last period, you said? Yeah. Okay.
6.
All right.
Don't get 6. Need 6 in the last period.
Okay. 25 and a half. Okay. All right.
Right. So, what are you doing this weekend?
Getting the house ready for the kids to return from college.
Yeah.
We got a lot of cleaning out of the garage. They sent a picture of what they're bringing home. I don't even know where we're going to put it.
Yard sale time at the Sharapan. We'll see you over the weekend, folks.
Yeah.